evening, everyone. Welcome to NTD Tonight. I'm David Zhang. Here is a preview of some of today's top stories. The special counsel in the Hunter Biden tax probe is changing venues, moving its case to California. Protesters gathered outside Chinese regime leader Xi Jinping's hotel in San Francisco. Activities heated up with police and ambulances on the scene. Charges pressed against the man accused of striking and killing a Jewish protester in California. The suspect now faces 2 felony charges. First up, Hunter Biden is being investigated by a California grand jury. Special counsel David Weiss is now using a second grand jury to continue his investigation into the younger Biden's tax affairs. NTD's legal correspondent Arlene Richards has the latest.
My name is David Weiss.
Special counsel David Weiss now moving his investigation of Hunter Biden to California after voluntarily dismissing the tax charges filed in a Delaware court. In an August filing in Delaware, Weiss told a federal judge that he wanted to bring tax charges in a district where venue lies, which he says is in the Central District of California or in the District of Columbia. A plea deal that was supposed to resolve the tax charges fell apart earlier this year. Under the deal, the younger Biden agreed to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges for failing to pay at least $100,000 on more than $1.5 million in earned income in both 2017 and 2018, an income that came from Ukrainian company Burisma. The Republican-controlled House Oversight Committee is gathering information on possible money laundering and foreign lobbying allegations in connection to the Burisma job, which could lead to impeachment proceedings against President Biden. The committee believes Hunter used his father's brand to extort millions of dollars. Chair of the committee, James Comer, recently said he's eyeing another potential witness.
Our latest request is to speak with Kevin Morris. He's an attorney who apparently is the person who loaned the money to Hunter Biden to pay off his $2 million tax bill.
He said the tax bill was more like $4 million. Spokespersons for Weiss and Hunter are not commenting on the change of venue. Hunter has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Over in Washington, a different special counsel wraps up his investigation into President Biden's mishandling of classified documents. But special counsel Robert Hur is not expected to charge anyone, although he is preparing a lengthy report that will likely criticize the president. Arlene Richards, NTD News.
And a recap of other national headlines today. House Ethics Chairman Michael Guest, a Mississippi Republican, introduced a resolution today to expel GOP Representative George Santos of New York from Congress, one day after the Ethics Committee released a damning report on its investigation into Santos. This is the third attempt to oust Congressman George Santos from Congress. The last time the House tried to expel Santos, a good number of lawmakers protected him on the grounds of due process. But with the new report, some of them are changing their minds. The House will need 2/3 to expel Santos, which means if all Democrats vote against him, a little over 70 Republicans would also need to vote for expulsion. Santos, who has only been in Congress since January, announced that he will not seek re-election following the release of the committee report, though he remained defiant and denounced the investigation, calling it a biased report. Hate on college campuses in the wake of October 7th Hamas terror attacks. The Department of Education has launched investigations into 7 schools after complaints about 5 alleged anti-Semitism cases and 2 Islamophobia cases. The reports come from 1 K-12 school in Kansas and 6 colleges, including Cornell, Columbia, and Cooper Union in New York. The Department of Education will make recommendations to the schools after the investigations. If they don't follow them, they could lose federal funding. The investigations were launched under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, which says universities and schools have to provide a discrimination-free environment. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says New York City's illegal immigrant crisis has forced the city to slash school, police, and library budgets. Speaking at a town hall event, Mayor Adams said over 140,000 illegal migrants have come to the city so far, and that New York has run out of room.
People say, well, Eric, why don't you close the door? Why don't you stop allowing people to come in? I can't. That's against the law.
New York has been a sanctuary city since 1980s. That's a city that limits or refuses to cooperate with the federal government on immigration law enforcement. According to the mayor, the federal government should be picking up the multi-billion-dollar tab from the illegal immigrant influx.
And it should not be coming out of the backs of everyday New Yorkers. That is wrong, and that is what is happening.
Mayor Adams says the immigrant crisis will cost about $11 billion over the next 2 years. And as a result, every agency in the city will be hit by the cuts. For more details of these stories, please visit ntd.com. Protesters gathered outside Chinese dictator Xi Jinping's hotel throughout his state in San Francisco for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. On Thursday, things heated up with arrests and ambulances seen coming and going. NTD's Jason Blair reports.
Multiple groups were protesting outside the St. Regis Hotel where Xi Jinping was staying for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, in San Francisco. A heavy police presence was seen on Thursday. At times, there were fights between groups protesting against the Chinese Communist Party or CCP leader Xi Jinping's U.S. presence and pro-Chinese CCP groups.
In China, in that communist regime, we don't have freedom of speech. If the Communist Party, they take over our rights to speak freely, which is a universal right recognized by many countries in the world.
Guo came to the U.S. from China after being harassed by the CCP for speaking his mind. This protester isn't happy that the U.S. welcomed Xi Jinping as a guest.
He's a dictator. He has brought a disaster to the whole world.
There were many signs calling COVID-19 the CCP virus. This protester wants to hold Xi Jinping accountable for the pandemic.
Millions of people died, and Xi Jinping is the world's cancer. Xi Jinping is the world's virus.
There were pro-Tibet protesters warning President Biden and other leaders about the dangers of making deals with the CCP.
It is important for all the people, all the countries involved in this APEC conference to understand that doing business with a communist regime will not, at the end, be good for their own people.
The protests continued into the evening. NTD confirmed that at least one person was arrested, with others seen being detained by police. Ambulances were seen coming into the area a couple of times. So far, no serious or life-threatening injuries were reported from that day. In contrast to the commotion, a group of Falun Gong practitioners were quietly holding banners nearby and handing out flyers.
Today we're out here at APEC in San Francisco to let Xi Jinping, the leader of the Chinese Communist Party, know that the persecution of Falun Gong is wrong and to immediately end the persecution.
We have always followed the principles of truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance to peacefully and rationally speak out against the persecution. So this time, through Xi Jinping and important figures from various countries, I hope that righteous people all over the world can stand up and help us stop this persecution.
Before I started practicing Falun Dafa, I was not in good health and in a bad mood. I often lost my temper with my family. My wife was often punched and kicked by me. Because I was too irritable, I was no longer a normal person. Later, after I obtained the Fa, I suddenly changed. My old mother-in-law said to me, "If nobody gets the Fa, you're the one that should get the Fa." I just changed all of a sudden, a 180-degree turn. It brings a lot of benefits to the family. My family is also very grateful to Dafa. My mother-in-law followed suit.
The last scheduled day for APEC is Friday. Xi Jinping is scheduled to leave from San Francisco Airport the same day. Reporting in San Francisco, Jason Blair, NTD News.
California authorities now pressing felony charges against a man accused of striking and killing a Jewish protester. The suspect, a pro-Palestine protester, was taken to custody yesterday morning.
We have charged the defendant, Lo Ai Al-Najee, with 2 felony counts. The first of which, involuntary manslaughter, a felony. The second count, battery causing serious bodily injury, also a felony.
Authorities said Friday morning they reviewed the 600 pieces of evidence in the death of Paul Kessler. The district attorney says investigators had to piece together video footage and conflicting statements from witnesses. He added the investigators determined there was no intent to kill, but are still looking into whether or not it was a hate crime. We'll take a short break now, everybody, but here's a look at what we have for you when we come back. Hip-hop icon Puff Daddy faces abuse and rape allegations. Former girlfriend Cassie launched a federal lawsuit against the rapper. Baseball team LA Dodgers host an early Thanksgiving lunch for homeless veterans. The team says they want to give back to those who serve the country. A loose drain cover on the Las Vegas Grand Prix racetrack. Smoke and sparks caused the first practice to be canceled. Those stories and more coming up on NTD Tonight. Welcome back to NTD Tonight. I'm your host, David Zhang. Rapper Diddy faces explosive allegations of abuse and rape in a federal lawsuit filed by ex-girlfriend Cassie. Here's NTD's Stephanie Secal with the details.
Rapper and hip-hop icon Diddy, aka Sean Combs, is facing serious allegations of physical and sexual abuse, including sexual slavery and rape from his ex-girlfriend, R&B singer Cassandra Ventura, aka Cassie. The federal lawsuit accuses Combs of coercing Cassie into engaging in sexual acts with hired male prostitutes while he recorded them. Cassie also claims a decade-long pattern of physical abuse, asserting that Combs controlled her through intimidation and substance abuse. The legal dispute escalated when Cassie accused Combs of rape after she tried to end the relationship in 2018. In response, Combs denied the allegations, with his attorney accusing Cassie of attempting to extort $30 million by threatening to reveal damaging details in a book. This controversy adds Combs to the list of high-profile figures in the music industry, including Steven Tyler, L.A. Reid, and Neil Portnow, who have faced accusations of sexual misconduct. Stephanie Secal, NTD News, California.
In a surprising speed, the 10th freeway in Los Angeles is set to reopen sooner than expected following fire damage near downtown Los Angeles. NTD's Christina Corona has more on the update.
Governor Gavin Newsom announced on Thursday that the 10 freeway, which sustained fire damage, will reopen weeks ahead of schedule.
One thing we can guarantee you is we will be open 5 lanes in both directions at the latest Tuesday of next week. But by Tuesday next week, trucks, passenger vehicles in both directions will be moving again.
Newsom credited the expedited reopening of the busy roadway to the tireless and ongoing efforts of repair crews who have been working around the clock.
With the extraordinary work of the men and women you see behind me, the carpenters, the laborers, teamsters, the cement masons, 30 new carpenters on site in the last 24 hours. They got ahead 2 days on the debris removal, allowed them to move more quickly to retrofit the structure you see behind me.
Earlier this week, Newsom said that engineers had assessed the structural integrity of the pillars supporting the heavily used roadway. Instead of demolition, the structure could be reinforced and repaired within 3 to 5 weeks. Bass thanked Los Angeles residents for their cooperation during the inconvenient and unexpected closure.
So what a gift for Los Angeles to have right before a holiday, to know that your commute will be better.
She also appreciated those who opted to work from home or use public transportation to keep up with their busy schedules. Christina Corona, NTD News, Los Angeles.
Another star that boomed in the startup world was convicted of fraud. A 39-year-old found guilty after charming and defrauding investors. NTD's David Lam has more.
39-year-old Michael Brent Rothenberg was found guilty Thursday of wire fraud, money laundering, bank fraud, and making false statements to a bank, according to the DOJ. Now, Rothenberg, also dubbed by some as Silicon Valley's party animal, allegedly defrauded investors in two of the venture capital funds that he managed in 2015 and 2016, linked to a $2 million investment in his company, Bend Reality LLC. Bloomberg reported that Rothenberg threw many parties for other entrepreneurs in order to attract capital. A jury found that he took fees from VC funds that he managed and that investors' money were regularly used for other purposes, such as paying for his firm, Rothenberg Ventures. Rothenberg joins a list of many entrepreneurs convicted of fraud. In similar cases, former Theranos founder went to prison this May for promising phony blood testing technology. And Sam Bankman-Fried was found guilty this month for his crypto exchange scheme. Now, in Rothenberg's case, he faces up to 60 years in prison and $1.5 million in fines. His sentencing will take place March 2024. In Santa Clara, California, David Lam, NTD News.
The LA Dodgers are stepping up to the plate by hosting an event aimed at supporting homeless veterans in the community. NTD's Christina Corona has more from the Dodgers Stadium.
The Los Angeles Dodgers are giving back again this holiday season by opening its gates to veterans experiencing homelessness for a memorable Thanksgiving lunch.
The Los Angeles Dodgers and Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation teamed up with Volunteers of America to provide 400 homeless veterans with meals and an opportunity to take a photo with the 2020 World Series trophy.
And today specifically, it's supporting veterans who have experienced homelessness or different hardships and kind of helping them transition, get back on their feet. So yeah, we got to give out turkey and stuffing and ham and all of the works and kind of just create a space for everyone to feel good. It's just a way for all of us here to say thank you. Thank you for the service and everything they did to impact our communities.
Dodgers legendary former pitcher Fernando Valenzuela was also in attendance serving up plates for the veterans.
He's a part of our Hall of Fame here at Dodger Stadium. He's done so much for not only the Latin community, but also for this organization as a whole. So he is also here getting his feet wet, handing out some turkey and different pieces for lunch today.
Along with the delicious feast, every veteran received a gift bag filled with essentials and tokens of appreciation. Plus, a special raffle offered an array of exciting prizes. Several veterans shared with us what they were looking forward to the most at the event.
I'm just out for the companionship, more than likely. You know, I live by myself, so, you know, I don't see a whole lot of folks. I'm out here to have a good time, you know.
This event brings camaraderie amongst us veterans. You know, we've been overlooked for so many years that to be appreciated the way we are, we're really, you know, it's off-coming. We just really enjoy it.
It's a good opportunity to get out and, you know, experience and, you know, meet new people and enjoy great food.
Many veterans attended the event seeking companionship and recognized that the holiday season can amplify feelings of isolation and difficulty for those who have served.
I think for the majority of veterans that return, there is, if they don't have friends or family or a support system, a support network, it can be very difficult. So we're really thankful for organizations like Volunteers of America, the Dodgers, and all that they're doing for us.
Not only did the veterans receive a Thanksgiving meal, but the Dodgers are also giving every veteran here a baseball ticket to a game next season. Christina Corona, NTD News, Los Angeles.
Now we hand it over to NTD's Carlos Reyes for some more Vegas Grand Prix coverage.
Charles Leclerc led Ferrari teammate Carlos Sainz in a practice 1-2 on Friday to cap an extraordinary first night at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, with the delayed track action ending at 4 a.m. and in front of empty grandstands after earlier drama. Sainz's performance was all the more impressive considering the Spaniard's car had been wrecked by a loose drain cover that forced the cancellation of first practice after just 8 minutes of action. White smoke and sparks erupted from the Ferrari as the cover punched a hole through the floor, leaving a trail of destruction that triggered an automatic 10-place grid penalty for Saturday night's race. Action resumed more than 5.5 hours later at 2:30 a.m., following repairs to the 3.8-mile course, which runs down the famed strip and against a backdrop of neon-lit hotels and casinos, but this time with fans cleared from the grandstands. Alpine driver Esteban Ocon's chassis also needed to be replaced due to damage, but he too returned for second practice. Leclerc's fastest lap of 1 minute 35.265 seconds was 0.517 faster than Sainz. Fernando Alonso was third quickest for Aston Martin, with Red Bull's Sergio Perez fourth and Valtteri Bottas fifth for Alfa Romeo. Red Bull's triple world champion Max Verstappen was sixth on the timesheets ahead of a race with little at stake for the Dutch driver, who wrapped up the championship in Qatar last month. Carlos Reyes, NTD News.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We would like you to join us again on NTD Tonight every weekday at 9 p.m. I'm David Zhang. Have a wonderful weekend.